it week? Do we want to start with the Bud Light
Let's
cooldown? Where are we going?
Let's talk the Bud Light beheading. let's just begin with the beheading, and then we'll get to the gameplay afterwards.
All right, so with that, for those of you that did not see, Counter Logic Gaming, after going 1-2 and winning El Clasico for, I guess, the 4th time this year, they defeated TSM 1-0 in their match on Friday. They dropped 2 games, and CLG released a video of a private meeting with GM Tafo, telling the players that, hey, this is the last time we're going to play together. Would have been different if we went 3-0. Instead, we went 1-2, so we're going to be making changes. And it was sponsored by the Bud Light Lead Lounge. Yeah, that's the premise of it. Dom, go ahead. Why don't you knock this one out of the park for us?
Well, I think the most hilarious thing about the Bud Light beheading is, like, it shows how disconnected the people that work at CLG are with the reality of the situation. Like, I'm sure that they didn't release that and they're like, this is gonna be a fucking meme. We're just gonna get shit on for this. This is a horrible look for our organization. Like, I would assume that when they created that piece of content, they were thinking like, damn, look at how like transparent we're being. People are gonna think that this is like that our fans are gonna be so happy that we did this, so they have this insight into the team. It's so brave of us to do that. Like, they thought that was gonna be the response, and just the fact that they actually saw that video and that was what they thought shows how delusional the org is.
LS.
So for me, so obviously this was during my period of like inactivity on some socials and stuff. I mean, I was still somewhat active, but not totally. For me, one of the thoughts so I'll be honest, this was a weird thing for me. Didn't Cloud9 do the exact same thing?
Yeah, and it was horribly received. And that was like a winning team. Like, so now you're a fucking dog shit team and you want to do that.
So that one was, and I feel like the players' responses in the Cloud9 one was actually way worse. That was I think recorded on camera. This one was obviously kind of like out there, but yeah, I don't know. And then the whole transmission, or like to Bud Light.
Yeah,
I mean,
we started high at TSM, lost to FlyQuest and Dig. So I'm going to be kind of like upfront. I am looking at roster swaps. It's been a little over 2 months. We're not really progressing. So there's very likely going to be changes this week. I'm exploring options. So this might be the last time that we have this roster of 5 playing.
I don't know.
The cool smooth jazz. It's like, and you're all going to lose your jobs. And it's like, it's like, what the fuck? Like people are there, like you just hear like Poe Belter in the background. It's like, please just give me one more chance, man. Like, I need this money to pay hospital bills for my family, man. Just hear the smooth jazz just come in like on next week's Bud Light beheading. We'll see if we bench Broxa.
So
like,
one of the things that I think
one
of the things that I think the public didn't read into is that I genuinely believe that when Tafo said, had they done another 3-0, there might not have been changes.
Yeah, we can ride that momentum. If we went 3-0, then like it does bring up different consideration. But because we went 1-2, and it seems like it's just not clicking.
What I think the public isn't reading into there is that I don't think that's Tafo actually thinking in his head, if we go 3-0, I won't make any changes. I think that's I think from like language that is generally used, or like pressures that are used behind the scenes, is that Tafo's actually just saying probably what's happening from someone who's above him, right? Where if the team actually performs again, Tafo can probably just go back and say like, no, everything's on the up and up now, and then they probably hold off, right? I from all my years in esports, that's the way that when Tafo said that line, I interpreted what he was saying. Was that Tafo was out of options to exhaust to delay this inevitability. But had they actually gone 3-0, Madison Square Garden would have been able to be held off, right? But someone at Madison Square Garden who doesn't play League of Legends, or maybe they do play League of Legends and they get 2 out of 6 on the first wave and co-op versus AI. What ends up happening is they're like, yes, change the players, yes. And Tafo has like nothing that he can say, because even though he's the acting general manager, it doesn't mean anything because there's people above acting GM. So it doesn't, you know. So that's the way I interpreted it.
I'm sorry, I'm only dying because your 2 out of 6 versus AI reminds me of a time where I used to work for an organization. So go ahead, Dom.
Well, I mean,
2 out of 6, no doubt. Go.
The thing for me that is so absurd is like, even if that's the case, where you are going to like, there's like no area where I can look at this and I'm like, that's where it makes sense. Because like, let's say you're just on like the strict like winning side, right? Like I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna pretend that the LCS teams are in the league and their number one goal is winning, right? If your number one goal is winning, why would like saying that you're looking to replace the players that might have to play next week, like why would telling that to them motivate them at all to like go out and fight for your organization or go into next week of scrim with like an improvement mindset? Like imagine if you're just a player and it's like I gave this analogy on the Crackdown, but it's like telling the chef that you're about to replace that like you need him to cook like the best meal ever. It's like he's gonna spit in your food, like it's gonna be disgusting what happens, right? So why, like I don't understand how saying you're gonna potentially bench them, it's like we're looking to bench you guys, but we might not be able to. We might not be able to find anyone to replace you guys. So if they go into the next week with the same roster, they would have been like, shit, like damn, I guess I couldn't find anyone to replace us. Like, I'm definitely going to try my hardest this week. It just doesn't make sense from a winning standpoint either. So, like, at what angle is this actually a good decision?
I think
I just posted the angle in the chat. I mean, you know, for you to see, you just wouldn't get it.
Okay.
Like, that's, you know.
I really wouldn't get it. I actually just don't get it at all.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I think it comes from a transparency mindset, and you know, there's a lot of losing there for the org this year and over the last several years, and when they were starting to turn like a 3-0 week is like such a boon. Winning fixes so much, and I feel like CLG thought that they had fixed so much with that 3-0 week press our comp, and since then I think they've gone 1-8. The only win was against TSM, so they win a whole rotation of match against the whole league losing. So I think it's just transparency there, and I think I was watching Summoning Insight.
Who the fuck needs that much transparency? Like, I think that there's too much transparency. That's like if I have like a kid, right? And then before school, it's like, you know what? Like, League of Legends content isn't doing it for me anymore. Honestly, like, we're losing money. We might have to move up. You should be worried. All right, have fun. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's some things where you just need to figure it out first and then come to them with a result.
No.
Like, you don't actually need to be this transparent.